Back to you, Vicki.
Thanks, Ron. Now let's take a look at road conditions. News Channel 5's Mark Bellinger has been talking to Metro and TDOT and is live along James Robertson Parkway. And Mark, what did they say?
Well, Vicki, both agencies say they're pretty happy with what they've accomplished today. Most of the roads in and around Nashville are clear, including this one here on James Robertson Parkway. You can see it's actually clear and dry, but there are some wet roads out there. And like Ron said, there is some concern about refreezing tonight. Back roads in Davidson County continue to be icy and in some cases snow-packed. Salt trucks were still working in the Jolton area late Monday afternoon. It's been a rough day for drivers.
I mean, if you get out here and act crazy, you're going to have a wreck.
Even salt trucks couldn't find enough traction. This was a scene at Dickerson Road and the Briley Parkway exit near Skyline Medical Center this morning. Between midnight and 11 in the morning, Metro Police received 276 calls about vehicle crashes. Fortunately, none of the injuries reported were critical. Some of the back roads at higher elevations are still icy and dangerous. Melting has occurred, but there are still concerns about Tuesday morning.
We are concerned about refreezing. Temperatures will drop back down to the single digits. And we won't really get a relief until tomorrow afternoon.
Statewide, salt trucks worked all day to clear ice and snow on roads. TDOT says most areas are improving. They spent a lot of the afternoon clearing roads near Clarksville and even trees in the Portland area. TDOT says the storm appears to have hit harder in Houston, Stewart, Robertson, and Montgomery counties.
So those areas have really received the brunt of the weather, and that's where a lot of our forces have been. We've even sent additional trucks to Robertson County today.
State officials share the same concern as Metro. There's a potential for more problems tonight.
We have been putting salt out all day today, and so that is effective, but it will lose some of its effectiveness overnight as temperatures continue to drop and continue to remain below freezing even through tomorrow morning.
I spoke with a couple of school districts today about how these roads would affect their decision on opening tomorrow, and most of them appear to be waiting for tonight to see what happens with these freezing temperatures and the possibility of refreezing. Reporting live from downtown Nashville, Mark Bellinger, News Channel 5 HD.
Thanks, Mark. As mother
Enough to join us with this quick update. Deanna, it's just not getting any better right now, is it?
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
It's not, no. I mean, there's just so many people who were, I think, trying to venture out earlier this morning that kind of caused several accidents at once. So the roads, obviously, you're seeing it from our traffic cameras. There's still plenty of spots of black ice out there around even the interstate here in Metro Nashville. The temperatures are just so low that this ice will probably continue to be out there throughout the morning. So our best advice is today, if you can take a day off from work and avoid traveling today, that would probably be best.
Deanna, as a state worker, do you know how they get the message out if state offices are open or not? Do you know if they're all open? I'm just getting a lot of requests on my end to find out that information.
Yeah, no, good question. The call to close state offices will come from Governor Haslam, and so far we have not heard anything that state offices will be closed. I'm sure it's a situation where you want to consult with your individual, supervisor to see kind of probably a discretionary thing as to what you should do, but that ultimate call would be passed down from Governor Haslam's office. 665
southbound is now open, but you can see the first alert unit is traveling down by one of those TDOT trucks. Did you bring in extra TDOT workers and trucks or something, Deanna? Because it seems like their response is pretty much instantaneous to all these accidents on the interstate right now.
Yeah, we do have extra help truck personnel. We had several trucks working throughout the night, and then we had extra help units on board this morning in anticipation of, some accidents and things like that. So, yes, we have.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. It is just about 16 minutes after 7 o'clock. We've got a lot to get to in terms of conditions on the roads, and we want to talk with TDOT spokeswoman Deanna Lambert.
All right, she's joining us live on the phone right now with the very latest. Good morning to you, Deanna.
Hi, good morning, Holly and Ian. It is definitely a situation out there this morning that is dangerous. It certainly looks like the roads are passable, but there are so many spotches of icy spots out there still in the Metro Nashville area. Up further north, I-24 into the Clarksville area, certainly sleet still on the roads. Our crews are trying to get out there and move that off, but as Paul said, it's definitely just a sheet of ice, and it's difficult to plow because it is so heavy and thick. sick. So we certainly ask anyone who can avoid traveling this morning, if you can do that, to stay off the roads. This will certainly help law enforcement respond to the dozens of accidents that are out there and help our crews be able to work the accidents and the crashes or clear the roads.
I know you said the best advice, delay your morning commute, and we've been showing all the pictures right here in the immediate metro area throughout Middle Tennessee. So what about folks who are trying to head west, like through Memphis or Knoxville? What are the situations there?
Yeah, from what I'm hearing, it is similar situations throughout the state over on the plateau. It does sound like they're having the same kind of situation with some ice and everything there. So this is a morning that if you can avoid traveling, I would certainly delay your trip if possible.
We're looking right now, Deanna, at a couple of TDOT cameras. This one, I think this is downtown 40, just kind of west of Charlotte. This is just one of those problem areas. I mean, we're seeing dozens of these. Crews, you said, are pretty much maxed out. I mean, they're working as fast as they can.
Yeah, I mean, all it takes is I'm seeing the same thing you're seeing, and I can see fenders just bent on cars. And so all it takes is just for your wheels to hit that little spot of black ice, and you have lost control of your car. So you certainly do not want to get out there this morning if you do not need to. You know, lots of cities are calling for only, you know, their emergency personnel to come in, so that would be a safe move.
All right, Deanna, thanks for joining us this morning, describing the latest conditions of our dangerous roads out there this morning. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, she mentioned cities.
$50,000.
Call Bart Durham Injury Law at 242-9000.
From your news and information leader, this is News Channel 5 this morning.
Ice, snow, sleet, freezing rain. We are in a state of emergency this morning. It is a major ice storm sweeping across the state from overnight.
And it is causing some major problems on the road. So right now we have Deanna Lambert from TDOT on the phone. And Deanna, what's the latest out there? We've had dozens and dozens of accidents.
We have. That's exactly the situation out there across much of Middle Tennessee this morning. We've had our crews working all night long, putting out salt, plowing what has fallen overnight. But the situation now really is just there's still a lot of icy spots out there. So you're starting to see a lot more people venture out onto the roads, and now just the traffic accident map you can see is just all red. It's busy out there. So the main advice this morning is if you can avoid traveling this morning, if you can just work from home or avoid going in, that is really the best advice this morning. We're seeing so many accidents, and even law enforcement getting involved in accidents, trying to respond to those crashes. So this is something that's very serious this morning. It would be a dangerous morning to try to get out.
Deanna, quick question. Do we know how many TDOT trucks are out in the mid-state right now?
We have dozens. I don't have the exact number, but we have most of our crews out working overnight throughout the areas. And I know I-24 in Montgomery County is an area that we've been working on. They've seen, I think, 3 to 4 inches of sleet fall there. So plowing it is difficult because it's heavy, but our crews are working on that. They've been working on that over the past few hours.
All right. Yeah, I was behind a couple of those TDOT trucks this morning and doing a great job out there at 2 o'clock in the morning. So, Deanna, thanks so much.
All right. And right now we have team coverage in.
Check that out at WSMB.com.
All right, we want to get on the phone now with TDOT spokeswoman Deanna Lambert. She's joining us live to talk about the latest on these road conditions. The issues out there, a lot of big issues. Deanna, can you hear us?
Hey, good morning, Ian and Holly. Yes, I mean, our issues this morning, you're starting to see it pop up on your traffic maps. There's just dozens of accidents happening because more and more drivers are getting out there trying to head to work. So while the roads do look clear and passable, there are many icy spots still out there. So our best advice is if you can, delay your morning commute or avoid travel this morning and go in later. That's certainly going to be a best situation for everyone involved. Law enforcement are busy trying to get to these accidents. A lot of officers' cars have been involved with accidents because of the sliding. So really it is a dangerous situation. If you can avoid being out there and traveling this morning, that would be best.
We have been mentioning issues on I-65, I-40, I-24, basically every interstate crossing through Middle Tennessee. What kind of manpower, what's the latest from staff-wise? What's being done at this point?
As far as treatment of the roads, we have all of our crews out. They have been working all night, monitoring the situation, salting where needed. A lot of sleet has come down over the past few hours, and now we're just working to remove what we can. Of course, putting salt out in temperatures this low is not as effective as when you put salt out above freezing temperatures. So the salt will only melt so much. So we are working to push the sleet and the precipitation off the road in many areas. But again, it was just a large amount that came down. I think in Montgomery County we had up to like 4 inches of ice on the road. So that was a lot of ice to push off. It's heavy, it's difficult. So Montgomery County, I-24 is some problem areas this morning, and then you're starting to see wrecks on a lot of the major interstates downtown in Nashville.
As you're talking, Deanna, we're going through some of the TDOT cameras. A lot of them are covered in ice. The signals are hit and miss because of some of this weather. In terms of folks heading out of the area, if they do have to be on the roads and they're heading either to Memphis or to the east side of the state, Cookeville, Crossville, Knoxville, are road conditions pretty bad in those areas as well?
Yes, correct. As you head over to the plateau, they're experiencing some ice over there as well. Knoxville dealing with the same kind of scenario. So yes, I mean this is a morning that if you have a trip planned, if you can't afford to postpone your travels, that would certainly be best.
All right, again, the best advice, delay your morning commute if at all possible. Deanna Lambert, thanks for getting up and joining us this morning with TDOT.
It just looks messy out there from some of those camera shots.
Yeah.
From TDOT to talk about the situation out there. Deanna, what can you tell us?
Hi, good morning, Bob. I just wanted to let everyone know.
We wanted to get right to Deanna Lambert from TDOT to talk about the situation out there. Deanna, what can you tell us?
Hi, good morning, Bob. I just wanted to let everyone know that this is certainly a situation where the roads may look clear out there this morning, and then you get out there and you hit a slick spot and it causes an accident, and that's the situation that's happening all over the metro area right now. I think there's probably some 40-some accidents being worked right now. So we're really advising people that if you can avoid travel this morning, if you can delay your commute, or just postpone going in this morning, that would be best to allow our crews to get out there and salt where needed, and then also allow law enforcement to work and respond to the accidents that are currently going on. We're just going to get traffic that's going to keep getting backed up if there are more and more accidents.
Deanna, we were talking during the break about how this looks like it's more of a widespread problem, not necessarily just isolated to one part of town.
It is. We are hearing that, of course, I-24 in Montgomery County is kind of a problem area, I-40 here in town, and we're getting just several reports of accidents because you're right. I mean, there was a lot of sleet that came down for several hours overnight, and now the situation is we're trying to push that sleet off the road, but it's very heavy. As you know, ice weighs a lot. So our crews just need time to get out there and work. And that's what they're doing this morning.
And what kinds of things can they do other than push the sleet aside? Is this a situation where the brine will work?
Well, this is one of those situations where it's very difficult to pre-treat for ice, because ice is one of those situations where it doesn't melt. We use salt once the ice comes down, but in temperatures this low, it doesn't melt. So this is one of those situations where really pushing it off the road is the best thing.
All right, Deanna Lambert from TDOT telling everybody if you can postpone that commute, it's going to allow them to get their job done a little quicker. Thank you very much, Deanna. Have a good morning. I know it's going to be a busy one for you.
Yeah, you know, I was just thinking during the...
Over the last year, a section of Interstate 440 got a much-needed makeover. You may remember that, but if you've driven 440 anytime lately, you know, besides that section near Nolensville Pike, it can be a pretty rough ride. We spoke with TDOT today about the plans for the rest of 440. They said it comes down to money and prioritizing projects. Right now, resurfacing the rest of 440 sits in the long-term plans, not anytime soon. In the meantime, TDOT crews spend a lot of time patching the road to keep it passable.
And especially after the weather, the cold weather we've had with all the damp, rainy conditions, that will cause potholes a lot. So we're out there more often now than ever patching potholes.
Nearly $35 million has been spent on maintenance and repairs for I-440 since the late 1980s.
Well, it took just a week for Vanderbilt